Welcome back to Brisbane, the pub test, where Defence Minister Peter Dutton is taking your questions this evening. And I'm pleased to say Robert's here. G'day, mate. Thanks for coming along.
How you going, Paul?
Good stuff. What's your question for Mr Dutton?
My question is, with the COVID pandemic and more particular Russia's invasion of Ukraine, has had a major impact of global supply chain, energy, fertiliser costs are higher, global inflation accelerating. Australia has only 2 oil refineries left in operation. It has 1 fertiliser plant at the end of this year, which will be closing to produce ammonia, which then is an additive active for AdBlue, used for transport fleets. At this schedule is to close. How secure can Australia be in the supply chain, and how can the industry to remain positive for the agricultural, mining and transport sector, and to have strong food security to this country?
Good stuff, Robert.
Well, Robert, it's a really, really important question, and one that we've been spending a lot of time on. It wasn't just toilet paper that we ran out of over the course of COVID. It was all sorts of products. And when you look at the cost of shipping now, when you look at the difficulty in Shanghai, one of the world's biggest ports, the impact that that's having on supply chain management. We're in Tasmania yesterday and speaking with a big company down there that's just about the changes that they've made, and it's reflective of many companies right around the whole country, and probably much further afield, where people are looking at what they can onshore. The government's doing a lot to provide support to advanced manufacturing. There's a great firm locally who's come back to Australia manufacturing plastics and plastic bottles and component parts, etc. Cheaper now to do it in our country than in China, where they were before. I think there are a lot of companies who are de-risking from the China market and elsewhere, and they're finding it much more stable for them to come back onshore. In terms of the debate around fertilisers, urea, for example, again, we've done a lot of work with Incitec and others. We've provided financial support and an underpinning for that continued investment, because it's not just AdBlue, but as you point out, the agricultural sector, productivity would drop through the floor if we didn't have that supply and the ability for that fertiliser, to be spread at the time of seeding, etc. So there is a lot that we're doing to try and address the reality, because what you raise is a very significant issue, and there are various reasons as to why you might have capacity constraints and supply difficulties across different industries, but we're trying to work through each of those, and that's part of the work of the National Security Committee and Angus Taylor's work, etc. So there's a lot that we're doing, but a lot that we have done that probably the public don't even know about to try and address those issues.